Did everybody remember the Slender Man movie that came out in 2018? Well, I sure did. And when I watched it, man, the scenes were pretty kind of good. And with a movie or even a game as every story that always connects to it, it's definitely one way to remember, and that's called nostalgia. So this is definitely a movie that I still remember. And even till now, I can still watch it. So this is a theory video about Slender Man, but we're not going to really get into the movie. I was just saying if everybody out there remembered it. If not, then that's okay. And a lot of people, when they did saw it, they're like, oh, this is stupid. This is a stupid freaking movie. But to me, I'm not gonna think it's stupid. It's just your opinion. It's everybody's opinion about how good a scary movie is. That's just up to you. But me, I'm fine with it. So this movie was created in Blumhouse. Yeah, that's right. Blumhouse. They also have a lot of other horror movies, and not just Slender Man. So, yeah, so I don't know how long this video might be, but I don't really make very, very long theory videos. This is gonna not talk about Slender Man, but part of the Slenderina games. So we're gonna talk about that right now. So let's get started. So this is Slenderina. Slenderina is a horror game that was developed of Dennis, yeah, that is his name. His name is Dennis. And I was just wondering, what was the developer's name? But anyway, so the first Slenderina game came out in 2013. And I did not notice the game then. But we're not going to talk about all those types of theories. We're just going to do the theory about, damn, how amazing would it be if Blumhouse made this as a horror film? Because we only got Slender Man, so why not Slenderina? Well, we're just gonna get the theory video started, but yeah, I guess we're gonna go on and on about it. Just not very long, so basically kind of one by one, if you know what I mean. So yeah, Slenderina is actually the daughter, as you probably know how the story makes sense, or how the family kind of makes sense. So when I first played the game, I think it was Slenderina the Asylum and also the House of Slenderina. So it was one of those two games I played, and I played them around 2017. It's like, oh man, I really do miss that year. I had some very great times playing these games. But as you guys saw in my gameplay videos, I still have fun with them. And everybody does too. Everybody really enjoys the jump scares. And I do as well. I mean, these horror games are really incredible when you think about it. So yeah, when I played Slenderina the Asylum, I really kind of got a little bit more detail of the story, but I couldn't really understand it until I got more better at it. And now it does. So, with this game, as Slendrina the Asylum, is the whole point of beating the game, blah blah blah. You gotta find 8 pages as 8 papers. Same thing with Slenderman. But yeah, what's cool is like, with the details and all in the game. But like I said, we're not gonna get all into that. I'm just explaining how freaking damn awesome and cool if Blumhouse, whatever director that's good of horror films, would probably think and decide, let's do a movie of Slenderina. I mean, man, that would totally be like something cool, right? So, yeah, so with the story that now I really understand is that when I did not know because, mistakes happen. So I got a little itty bitty tiny mistake because with Granny, I thought Granny's daughter was Slenderina, but it's not. It's her granddaughter. Her daughter is Angeline. That is her daughter, her child. So Slendrina is just her grandchild. And well, that's really how the real life thing is, You got parents, then you have grandparents, grandkids. Yeah, we probably understand about that, how families work. But yeah, that's when I did not really know until I got the story better, or I learned about the story. And it just got very better. It totally makes sense. But what I also like with stories and games is how every game has a cutscene. So we all know like Mr. Meat, Evil Nun, and Ice Scream, how they all have cutscenes in the games. But with Slenderina and Slenderman and Granny, there is no cutscenes in the game when you're playing. I mean, yeah, I might say there is cutscenes, just the ending cutscenes. The ending cutscenes is when you beat the game, but that's kind of about it. There is no other cutscenes. And the cutscenes I'm talking about are flashbacks, like the story. And yeah, there will totally be cutscenes in a story as flashbacks. Like, to understand what on earth just happened or what the hell happened. I mean, it would be cool, but we don't get any freaking cutscenes. But just saying about the movie, man, it will definitely show every scene as we just kind of seen Slenderman and kind of know what he only looks like as a villain. Because every character in a horror game are villains. And they're just, they're after you and they want to kill you. That's the whole point, what they want to do. They just want to kill you. And kind of get it over with, Yeah, I think we totally know. So with Slenderman is that he's actually the father of his daughter. So basically, his daughter is Slenderina. Yeah, and it would be really cool to see her in the damn movie, but we don't. We all just see Slenderman and that's about it in the film. And yeah, it doesn't even show any information about the story. Not even more often in the frickin' game. games. I mean, you might be like, oh, well, that's just weird. That's like really weird. We don't get any information or freaking flashbacks or cutscenes in the damn storyline. It's like, I mean, yeah, you might say it's kind of stupid, but I guess that's just how Dennis wanted to make the story. Well, yeah, I would think. Because maybe some game stories don't always have to show cutscenes and just kind of just reads about it. And yeah, you can definitely read about it. It's on Google. You'll click on the website of the game, and you actually will just click on, every character, like Slenderina and all of that fun stuff. So yeah, it does talk about what happened to Slenderina, and I don't think I did not knew until, like I said, I got more making sense of the story because it just got better and better. But now I get it. Now I understand how the whole story goes. It's just those times I just didn't know because it was sort of like a new game for me when I played Slenderina the Asylum and the house too. And moving on to this great game. This is the Slenderman game. This is Slenderman Rise Again, and it's a pretty good horror game. So as all with the games, it's all about finding 8 pages of paper that are just in the area of the map that you're in. So yeah, like I said, we're not going to get into that, but yeah, I don't know how good this theory video is, but I don't know. I don't even know what to say. It's just, damn, it would be freaking nice, if Blumhouse made a movie of Slenderina. So let's just get, how would it be if it was a movie? Because, seeing the scenes of it, oh my gosh, it would be like, wow, there we go. Now we finally get the story. I mean, it would totally make sense. Because we would totally see what the frick is going on. Like understanding it in the back of our heads, like the back of our minds. And that's one way for the storyline to just like appear. Because it has to. And we just have to see it with our 2 eyes. Because if we did not see it in our 2 eyes, there won't be any information of a story. And it won't even be a story at all, to be honest. So yeah, it just would not even be a story if it wasn't even, not saying it's not real, but the way how good movies, even including game developers, how good the story, they make it feel like it's totally real and lifelike. But yeah, I mean, seeing like how this game is, this is like one of my favorite Slenderina games. But most importantly, all of them are my favorite. So this is the child of Slenderina, and this is probably their house, even though there's another house that you're in and you're searching for the pages of the papers. But in this one, you gotta like find these yellow pieces for like a key to unlock the safe, if you want to say, or call it, to get Slenderina's diary. And before you get her diary book, she gets pretty upset. She gets really, really mad and angry because you took her book. but that's the whole point about beating the game. And well, she's a ghost, so being a entity, spiritual apparition ghost, even when you're dead, you'll still get really angry and mad. Plus, even if you're not a friendly spirit, you're just kind of evil and, well, not gonna really say as a villain, but they're basically sort of like villains, if you want to say. So here's the child. The child is really freaking disturbing. I mean, you can just see it, how it just sits in the crib, or how it is right there. And the way its jump scare is, like, here it comes. Here's the jump scare. Well, it didn't happen, but it will. But yeah, this is like the bedroom and all. So yeah, imagine that this would all be seen in the movie. And man, seeing the house in the movie, like all the audience and the people in theaters would be like, wow, this is freaking awesome. Like, it really looks like the area and the place in the games. And even not just this location, but also the other locations. Like, you got the cellar, you got the asylum, and you got the school. And well, I would say that's about it, to make that all unclear. So yeah, seeing how the house is, and oh man, how freaky and scary it would be, I'm telling you, it would definitely will be very creepy, will it? So yeah, there's one thing I do want to say as I just said it. The child. Yep. The child of Slenderina. So the child is not like a normal looking child. This is just a freaking deformed human being. And I would not say it's like an entity kind of demon thing, but it's really disturbing. But its design is still cool, but terrifying in the same way. Now, this will be one thing to freaking, I don't know, not like scream out of your lungs, but probably be definitely kind of terrified seeing this in the freaking movie. I mean, seeing how it chases you, or chases someone, and who knows, probably freaking feasts on a dead corpse, because it's like a freaking zombie. So yeah, the child will be very creepy and terrifying as hell if it was actually seen in the movie. Now, the designs of not just the child, but each one of the families, or just families, it's also just one family, but with all the characters as the villains and how they're very kind of evil in their own ways. But just to put this in mind in the movie, how with just Slender Man, he's not a real kind of thing, but just how movies are and how they do the behind the scenes, it's like how it's actually a freaking guy in a costume suit, but with that all together, it's even added with animation as, CGI. But to think of the child of Slenderina, this thing would not be like a human kid with some kind of freaking costume. It would probably be CGI, because the way its back legs are, there's just no way somebody would have deformed, up and looking back legs that just don't look normal, do they? And you can just kind of tell they don't. How the knee is like up. Like it kind of seems like the legs are like turned backwards, right? Yeah, they really almost do. But yeah, the details of the face, the white eyes like a zombie, you can just tell it's like dead and lifelike. And how disturbing the child really is. The way the face is, the teeth, the eyes, everything about its features, and oh man, what it would do in the movie. This will be terrifying to see. But just because it'd be terrifying doesn't mean that the story would totally be awesome and how it would totally make sense, too. But yeah, I mean, even for the best part with horror games with flashbacks and cutscenes of stories is also the photos. And how this photo here is pretty cool, but honestly kind of freaking creepy. Yeah, it really is. I mean, looking at Slenderina and her husband, the vampire named Liev, and they would be also the ones to be seen in the movie too. Like, just the family, and plus the child, and how they're all combined together because they're a family. But just how detailed this photo looks, I mean, the details are not that bad, and if this was actually in the movie, yeah, it would totally be awesome, would it? But we all know I don't think there will be a movie at all of Slendrina and her family, and even including Granny. I mean, it's kind of a bummer and a shame to just ask about, but I just don't think it's gonna happen. It would be cool if it was a movie that would be created by Blumhouse, like Slender Man. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. Even how cool it would be, it just won't be the day, or it just won't be the time, and it just probably would not be the year that the movie would be made and created. But for my great point, you might be thinking all the villains that are so like cool, sort of kind of popular because the games kind of are, and now they have such, I don't know, cool freaking updates. Like, I don't really mind the updates at all. But just how freaky these characters are, I mean, yeah, when you think about Slendrina and her ex-husband, the vampire, yeah, they look pretty damn freaky villains. Like, yeah, they're creepy. But with the child, I'm not gonna say the child is 10 times more creepier, but yeah, it would be totally creepy. How the details of it, not how it is in the game. But, the CGI, oh man. I mean, how realistic CGI can be making an entity so fucking disturbing. That it's just totally lifelike, and it just puts you in your mind to think, oh man, this thing looks like it does exist. And that would be in your freaking nightmares. Because look at this child. I mean, it totally looked like it would be if it freaking existed. But with the storyline in the movie, and every scene that it would probably be caught in every scene, like it's jump scares, that would be pretty freaky. But in the same way, it would be cool. Just how terrifying it is, but also its parents. So I have to admit, all of the villains are pretty terrifying. But for all stories, like in books, games, and movies, there is one thing that you just can't forget, and that's pretty much the timeline, the year. And yeah, that's totally true. You can't forget the year. So the year of the Slenderina story takes place in 1892. Yeah, that's freaking old. That's the 1800s. And this is just its correct year because this is from the game. So, yeah, 1892. And this is what it'll actually show in the movie. Because we all know how some movies, I would think maybe a lot of them, do show the year and the date and the month of how the story starts and how it goes on. So most beginnings will definitely show that. So yeah, with the movie, it will totally show the year right here. 1892. I mean, I don't know what to say, but just for this moment, I mean, I have to really admit for this theory, the child will definitely be the most disturbing thing to be seen in the freaking movie. I mean, just look at it. Its eyes, its teeth. It just looks like it came from another world. And the way it does seem like a demon, but it's not. It's just, well, not like a bloodthirsty child, even though I don't have to say it's a vampire like its father, but the father is the vampire, because when I read about the story, he bit the baby, and that's why the child looks like this, so you can definitely tell it would not be one normal looking human being. It's deformed, means it's a pretty jacked up one. And this will be terrifying to see. Just like in the background, or when it's seen up close like this in sight, and it's fucking staring back at you, and it's making like, what it would do in the game. It's terrifying sounds, like a baby cry after it spots you, and then laughs. I mean, it's freaking creepy. So, I have to definitely admit how good the CGI would be, because a lot of movies have really good CGI kind of creatures, or just weird, disturbing looking villains as entities, or cryptids, whatever you might have to call them. But yeah, the child of Slenderina would be definitely almost lifelike. Just the way it would be seen in the movie, and the people or the guards that tries to survive, and they're frickin' fighting this damn thing. Like this thing biting their legs, or, trying to kill them to death. Because that's what it does in the game. It chases you and it wants to frickin' kill you. For no mercy. Because when something is evil, no, they're not going to show mercy. So, it's going to kill you for no reason. And that's just how a villain is. So, yeah, it would definitely be creepy in sight. And the way, it's not like its mother, but it's the child of the mother. It's Slenderina's child. But, yeah, I mean, to understand all of this clearly, I don't know what to really to say. I don't know if there really is much to say. But yeah, with Slender Man and his family, his daughter and his wife and the child, I just gotta say it would be really nice to see them in the movie. Because, like I said, the timeline, the year, the story would all show the depths and it will show the whole thing. And that's how every story should be like. Because if anything did not been shown, nobody's gonna understand and know about the story. So, yeah, seeing Slenderina, I don't think she would be like a real human actor. I mean, I would probably say because, when a person's a person and that they were a human at one time, and then after that, terrible bad things happen. So basically, it's like you don't know when your life is going to end, so that's kind of the sad part. So not just because a story is, scary, it's sad too. So I do have to say that the Slenderina story, as for the movie, it would definitely be really kind of sad. Because the way she gone through, not saying she didn't deserve it, but the guards caught her in the asylum and they broke her jaw. And that's going to be another theory video, hopefully tomorrow or whatever, because I think that would be a really good, interesting theory to say why the hell did the guards broke her jaw. But I have to really imagine that being shown in the movie. Because imagine the scene. Just imagine the scene that, watching that in theaters, and you see her jaw being, oh man, I don't even want to imagine the pain. Because it really is possible that you can break somebody's frickin' jaw. Yeah, I'm not making that up. You really can. But the way of how all horror movies have sound effects that really do sound sick. So the bone crunching or the snapping of her jaw, oh man, that would be so terrible to see, like hearing that sound effect. And then her scream, her painful, moaning scream, because they broke her frickin' jaw. I mean, that's pretty awful for that pain to suffer with. And suffering over something is just not cool. It really is not. So, yeah, I mean, just to think about it with all the horrible tragedies, even though there's not a lot of tragedies, there's only about, I would think, only 2, because yeah, there can be not always a lot of tragedies in stories. Like yeah, there could definitely be a little less, but basically there can only be like 1 or 2 tragedies. That's painful to suffer from anything. And how you're mainly living in your misery. That's sort of hell. So it's definitely sort of like hell for Slenderina and her family. Because, her mother's suffering too. And then her father, as Slenderman, is as well. But yeah, I would have to say Slenderman is basically the only villain that we've seen in every kind of movie and every kind of game. But it would be cool just to see his family. not just him himself, but also his wife Angeline, his daughter Slenderina, and the future husband as the vampire named Liev, and, well, even including Granny and her husband Grandpa, even the twins. So, yeah, when you think about it, the story or the family is not a very big family. But that's all, that's all much to it. That's pretty much it to say about it. So, I think a lot of you folks probably understand as much as I understand. When you learn about a story, it gets better and it all makes sense. So it all makes sense with me because I totally 100% get it now. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say, but I guess this will be it for the video. But yeah, it would be totally freaking awesome as heck to see Slenderina and her family and killing the innocent lives and, jump scaring them any types of ways how they'll try to kill them, just as playing in the games, because part of a game is survival here. So beating in these type of games, surviving, is finding 8 pages of papers and also 8 books. And then you're pretty much free to survive. But yeah, that's the whole purpose behind it. And that's what it would be like in the movie. If everybody dies and you're pretty much the one who survives the most. And that's how it would be as a movie. One character would fight it to survive, be strong about it, and get the hell out of there. Because that's totally how it would be in the Granny house too. Because in Granny's house, you gotta find everything to escape the house. Like the front door or the garage. The car garage. So yeah, that would definitely be kind of all the escape routes of not just the games, but the movie. Like it will have all of that together. But yeah, like I said, we all wish there would definitely be a movie from Blumhouse if somebody was the new director or somebody. But yeah, seeing Slender Man and his family, it would be awesome. I have to admit that. It would be really freaking awesome as heck. Will it? Yeah, it will definitely will. Seeing the CGI of the villains and how damn lifelike and realistic they would be, but very terrifying as hell. And the horrible ways of how they'll kill you. So, it would be freaking awesome. But yep, I guess that's it with the theory video. But yeah, the next one will definitely be to explain why. Why did the guards broke Slenderina's jaw? So yeah, that'll be another theory video to explain that. So yep, that's all it to say.